I want to speak with you about your birth month and how it actually explains so much more about you than you could ever imagine. It tells you how many times you've reincarnated. It tells you what your past karma is and how to incorporate that in this lifetime in order to move forward. Have you ever stopped to wonder why you were born in a specific month, under a particular sign, at an exact moment in time? I'm here to tell you that your date of birth wasn't some random coincidence, but actually contains encoded information about how many times your soul has walked this earth before and what karmic debts or blessings you're carrying from these previous lifetimes. Most people go through life thinking their birthday is just another date on the calendar, something to celebrate once a year with cake and candles. But my research, studying people's past life through my regressions and through soul activations and therapeutic healings, has led to an incredible discovery. Your birth month is actually a cosmic fingerprint, a spiritual signature that reveals the hidden story of your soul's journey through multiple incarnations. So tell me, has this ever happened to you? You meet someone born in the same month as you, and despite being completely different people on the surface, there's something eerily familiar about the way they approach life, the challenges they face, and even the gifts that they possess. You see yourself in them. And this mirror is there for a reason. It's there to help you awaken to your true self and the lessons that you need to learn and the blessings that you have to offer. A full view, not through one lifetime, not through descriptions of what your zodiac sign says about your personality traits. Through working with thousands of clients now internationally in those quantum hypnotic states, uncovering past life experiences, I've discovered that our souls don't randomly choose when to incarnate or where. The timing of your birth, the planetary alignments, the season you entered into, all of it was part of an intricate divine plan orchestrated by your higher self, your oversoul, before you ever took your first breath. So I want you to think about this for a moment. That calendar that hangs on your wall, the one you use to plan appointments and make important dates, is actually far more than a simple timekeeping tool. It's a sophisticated spiritual technology created by our ancestors eons ago and our Maker. It's a sacred map that's been used across cultures and civilizations for thousands of years. So what you're about to discover about yourself may surprise you, because the month you were born doesn't just influence personality traits or predict the future like conventional astrology would suggest. It actually reveals how many lifetimes your soul has experienced, what lessons you're here to master in this incarnation, and what unresolved karma you brought with you from previous existences. Your birth month creates a unique energetic portal, a gateway that connects you to specific frequency and vibration that your soul needs for its current stage of evolution. So stay with me until the end of this video, because we are going to explore each birth month and what it reveals about your reincarnation history, and use it as a tool to learn more deeply about everyone else that you know, so that you can fully and better understand them on a deeper level from a truly unconditional, loving space. Now, some souls are brand new to Earth, experiencing their first few incarnations with wide-eyed wonder and intense emotion, while others are ancient spirits who have walked this planet hundreds, if not thousands, of times before, carrying wisdom that transcends this single lifetime. And here's what most people don't realize: the challenges you face, the talents you come naturally to, even the people that you're inexplicably drawn to or repelled by, are all connected to your birth month and the karmic patterns encoded within your DNA for this lifetime experience. So, which category do you fall into? Are you a young soul just beginning your cosmic journey? Or are you an old soul preparing for your final lessons on Earth? The answer lies hidden in plain sight, in that simple detail you've known your entire life, but never truly understood. The month of your birth, your zodiac, and what we're about to reveal will change the way you see yourself and others, and your purpose, your entire existence. Now, let me be clear about something really crucial here. What we're exploring goes far beyond what you're going to find in your typical astrology column or zodiac meme on social media. My research isn't about predicting whether you'll have a good day at work or you'll meet your soulmate next Tuesday. This is about the very essence of your immortal soul, the accumulated wisdom, and the unfinished business that you've carried across the threshold of death and rebirth countless times. The difference is profound, and understanding this distinction will completely transform your mindset about who you really are. Now let's begin with those born between March and April under the sign of Aries. If this is your birth month, what I'm about to reveal might explain so much about the intensity you feel coursing through your veins. According to my extensive research with past life regression, Aries souls are typically what we call reborn spirits. These are young souls, and I don't mean young in age, but young in terms of their cosmic journey. Many Aries individuals are experiencing their first few conscious incarnations on this planet, which is why everything feels so urgent, so immediate, so absolutely vital. There's a fire within you that can't be contained, an impetuousness that others might mistake for impatience, but it's actually something far more profound. Think about the Aries people you know. There's always this remarkable intensity about them, right? They throw themselves into experiences with their whole being, feeling everything at the maximum volume. This isn't a personality flaw or something they need to fix. It's their soul's natural state of being when it's still relatively new to the human experience. Imagine seeing colors for the first time, tasting food, feeling love, experiencing heartbreak. For young souls, every sensation carries the weight of discovery. Every moment feels like it could be the key to understanding this mysterious thing called existence. That's the hidden truth behind the Aries energy. If this resonates with you, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe as we explore more profound spiritual topics regularly, always seeking to illuminate another layer of truth about who we really are and why we're here. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The spiritual curriculum for Aries souls in this lifetime involves a very specific lesson, and it's one that has massive impact on their entire journey. They're here to learn how to control those powerful impulses that surge through them, to channel that tremendous strength they possess, not through force or dominance, but through the transformative power of love. This is no small task. We're talking about taking raw primal energy and refining it into something that can create rather than destroy, that can build bridges rather than burn them. That fiery nature of Aries isn't random. It serves a specific purpose in their spiritual evolution, acting as both their greatest gift and their most challenging teacher. When you understand this deeper dimension behind the Aries archetype, suddenly so many things make sense. The frustration you might feel when others don't match your pace, the way you dive headfirst into situations that terrify more cautious souls, the difficulty you sometimes have with patience. All of these aren't flaws in your character. They're evidence of a soul that's still learning to navigate the complexities of human existence, a spirit that's absorbing fundamental lessons that will serve you across many lifetimes to come. The revelation contained in your birth month creates a roadmap showing you not just where you are, but where your soul is heading on this extraordinary journey. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic because understanding the young souls of Aries is just the beginning. Put it in the comments. My soul remembers if what you're hearing resonates with something deep inside of you, something you've always felt but never quite had words for. What you need to understand is that your zodiac sign functions as something far more significant than just a personality label. It's actually a spiritual timestamp, a cosmic marker that reveals your exact position along an eternal path of evolution. Think of it like a bookmark in the infinite story of your soul's journey. This timestamp tells us where you've been, what battles you've already fought and won, what lessons you've absorbed into the very fabric of your being, and most importantly, what specific curriculum your soul has deliberately chosen to focus on in this particular incarnation. The impact of recognizing this truth cannot be overstated because it shifts your entire perspective from seeing yourself as a random collection of traits to understanding yourself as an eternal being on a purposeful mission. When we move into the energy of those born between April and May, we encounter something completely different. From the fiery newcomers of Aries, Taurus souls represent a profound transformation in the journey of spiritual evolution. These aren't brand new souls fumbling through their first experiences. These are souls that have already weathered the initial tests and challenges of earlier incarnations. They've been through the baptism by fire. They've learned some hard lessons, and now they return with a very specific agenda. What they seek more than anything is stability, security, and a firm foundation upon which they can build their spiritual house. This desire isn't superficial or materialistic. in the way that outsiders might judge it. It's actually evidence of deep soul wisdom. Behind the scenes of every Taurus individual, their current life lies a fascinating pattern from their past incarnations. My research has revealed that the Taurus souls experienced one of two extremes in previous lifetimes. Some endured crushing poverty, the kind that leaves scars on the soul. Imagine living life after life where you never had enough, where hunger was your constant, where you watched loved ones suffer because you couldn't provide basic necessities. That kind of deprivation doesn't just disappear when you die. It imprints itself on your soul's memory, creating an almost desperate need for security in your next incarnation. Others swung to the opposite extreme, becoming lost in sensory overindulgence without any boundaries or self control. They learned the hard way that endless pleasure without purpose leads to its own kind of emptiness. This hidden truth about the Taurus soul explains so much about their behavior in this lifetime. Their current mission involves something incredibly delicate, yet very challenging. They are here to harmonize earthly pleasures with responsibility and generosity, to find that sweet spot between enjoying the physical world and not becoming enslaved by it. The real transformation happens when a Taurus soul finally grasps that true abundance does not come from hoarding resources or building impenetrable walls around what they have. It comes from mindful stewardship, from being generous guardians of the blessings they've been given. This is a complete mindset shift from scarcity consciousness to abundance consciousness. And it's one of the most difficult journeys any soul could undertake. The decisions a Taurus makes in this lifetime about money, possessions, relationships, and security are never just about the surface issues. They've always connected to this deeper soul curriculum, this ongoing work to heal the wounds of past life poverty or to correct the mistakes of past life excess. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic because the pattern of soul evolution continues to unfold in fascinating ways as we move through the calendar year. I want you to type healing my past in the comments if you recognize these patterns working through your own life, whether you're a Taurus or you see these themes playing out in different ways. As we journey into the realm of those born between May and June, we encounter souls that vibrate at an entirely different frequency. You see, Gemini souls are the cosmic communicators. But the revelation behind this title goes far deeper than simply being chatty or sociable. What I've discovered through my regression work has been absolutely fascinating because many Gemini souls have profound previous lifetimes. Sometimes enforced silence was put upon them. So think of this: incarnation spent as a monk, bound by sacred vows never to speak, or a prisoner locked away where their voice didn't matter or could never be heard. Painfully, these individuals who possessed the physical ability to speak, but never found the courage or the ability to express their truth, they watched life unfold around them as silent witnesses, swallowing words that burned in their throats, carrying thoughts and ideas that never found expression. But the pattern doesn't end there, because other Gemini souls experienced the exact opposite extreme. They lived lives of uncontrolled verbosity, speaking endlessly without wisdom or restraint, using words as weapons or as noise to fill the void within themselves. The impact of these past life experiences created a soul level imbalance that needs correction. And that's precisely what their current incarnation is designed to address. This isn't about learning to be a better conversationalist or winning debates. It's something infinitely more profound. The hidden truth about Gemini souls is that their current journey represents a pivotal quest toward mental integration. When you see a Gemini jumping from interest to interest, exploring vast landscapes of idea, immersing themselves into different cultures, philosophies, and thought systems, they're not being flaky or unfocused. They're on a sacred mission. The exploration isn't for mere intellectual stimulation or to impress others with their knowledge. It's a soul quest to finally understand both the intricate complexity of the world around them and the dualities that exist within their own consciousness. That restless energy, that constant need for new information and experience, it's their spirit trying to find the balance point between the silence of past lives and the chaos of others, seeking that perfect harmony where communication becomes a tool for genuine understanding rather than just noise or suppression. The transformation happens when a Gemini soul finally integrates all of these scattered pieces, when they realize that true communication isn't about quantity or silence, but about authentic expression aligned with wisdom. Now, when we move into the tender waters of those born between June and July, we encounter something truly special. Cancer souls carry a completely different energy, one marked by ancient wisdom and profound sensitivity. These aren't young spirits learning basic lessons. These are old souls, remarkably sensitive beings who carry within them spiritual memories that stretch far back into the midst of time. The journey that they're on in this lifetime has a very specific focus, and it's one of the most beautiful and heartbreaking missions any soul can undertake. Cancer souls are engaged in the sacred work of reconnection, particularly with family bonds that were severed or damaged in previous incarnations. Behind their nurturing nature, their emotional depth, their psychic ability to sense what others need, lies a soul history that's marked by profound loss. Perhaps they were separated from loved ones in past lives through war, exile, or circumstances that were beyond their control. Maybe they failed to protect those who depended on them the most, or they caused rifts that were never healed before death ended that chapter. Whatever the specific scenario, these souls return with a divine mission encoded in their very essence to rebuild what was broken, to welcome those who were turned away, to protect the vulnerable, and to create environments of genuine affection that they themselves may have been denied across multiple lifetimes. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic because understanding these soul patterns helps us see that nothing about our emotional reactions or behavioral tendencies is random. But I want you to put down soul recognition in the comments if you're beginning to see your own patterns through this new lens of understanding. What makes the Cancerian journey so profoundly moving is understanding the depth of what they're actually healing. These souls didn't just experience minor family disagreements or temporary separations in past lives. We're talking about devastating losses that left permanent marks on their eternal consciousness. The kind of experiences where they watched helplessly as loved ones were torn away, where they failed to protect those who needed them most, where circumstances forced impossible decisions that haunted them across the threshold of death. This soul history explains why Cancerian individuals often seem to carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, why they feel so deeply, why abandonment and rejection cut them more profoundly than it does for others. Their emotional sensitivity isn't weakness or overreaction. It's actually evidence of ancient wisdom, the accumulated understanding of just how precious and fragile human connections truly are. Hit that like button because you liking this video helps this message to reach out to others who are seeking this same understanding that you are finding right now. It connects seekers across the globe who are all waking up to these deeper truths together. The transformation that Cancer souls are working towards involves creating what was denied to them, building the safe havens they never had, offering the unconditional acceptance they once desperately needed. Every time a Cancerian person opens their home to someone in need, every time they nurture and protect, every time they choose compassion over judgment, they're not just being nice. They are actively healing wounds that span centuries, rewriting painful stories from their soul's past, and fulfilling a sacred contract they made before being born into this body. This brings us to something absolutely crucial that most people never consider. Have you ever walked into a place you've never visited before and felt an overwhelming wave of familiarity just completely wash over you? Have you ever met someone for the first time but experienced this uncanny sensation that you've known them forever? Something that your soul recognizes about them, even though your minds are drawing a blank on how you must know them. Or perhaps you've picked up a skill with unusual ease, your hands seeming to already know the movements, your body remembering something your conscious mind never learned. These aren't coincidences or tricks of the imagination. These are glimpses of your soul's vast journey across multiple lifetimes and your DNA memory. Moments when the veil between incarnations becomes thin enough for memories to bleed through. The hidden truth is that your soul carries imprints from every experience it's ever had. And sometimes, just sometimes, those imprints surface in ways that can't be explained by your current life circumstances. This is the mechanism behind your child prodigies who could play complex music without formal training, behind inexplicable phobias that have no basis in current life trauma, behind those instant soul connections that defy all logical explanation. Your birth month acts as a key to understanding which types of memories are more likely to surface for you, which skills might come naturally, which fears might seem irrational, but are actually echoes from previous chapters of your eternal story. When we arrive at the radiant energy of those born between July and August, we encounter souls with a very particular kind of karmic baggage to work through. Neo souls are fascinating. According to my research, most of them occupied significant positions of leadership in past incarnations. We're talking about rulers who commanded armies, nobility that controlled vast estates, influential artists whose work shaped culture, or spiritual leaders whose words moved the masses. The impact they had in those lifetimes was undeniable. But here's where the journey gets interesting. Their current incarnation represents a profound spiritual recalibration, a necessary correction after lifetimes that were often marked by pride, arrogance, or misuse of power. Now, I want to go deeper into this topic because the Leo journey reveals something critical about how karma actually works in the soul's evolution. Before we do, write awakening memories in the comments if these revelations are triggering something deep within you, something that feels like remembering rather than learning. The golden revelation that Leo souls are working toward in this lifetime is something that might seem paradoxical at first glance. They're here to learn the sacred art of humble leadership. And that's not an easy transformation when you carry soul memories of commanding respect, wielding power, and having people hang on your every word. The challenge isn't to stop shining, because that radiant energy is part of who they are at a fundamental level. The real work involves learning how to shine brightly without dimming the light of others around them, how to guide and inspire rather than dominate or control, and most critically, how to lead from the heart rather than from the ego. This is a complete mindset overhaul, a rewiring of ancient patterns that served them well in the past incarnations, but now needs refinement. What's fascinating is the internal conflict this creates in many Leo individuals. Part of them craves recognition and the spotlight because their soul remembers what that felt like to command attention and respect. But another part, the wiser part, that's learning from past mistakes, questions whether they truly deserve that recognition or whether they're seeking it makes them shallow or self centered. This internal dialogue isn't a neurosis or low self esteem. It's actually their soul processing wisdom across multiple lifetimes, trying to find that sweet spot between authentic self expression and humble service to others. The transformation happens when a Leo finally understands that true leadership isn't about personal glory, but about elevating everyone around them, that their natural charisma is a gift meant to inspire others to find their own light rather than just bask in the glow of a Leo. As we shift into the energy of those born between August and September, we encounter, again, a completely different type of spiritual curriculum. Virgo souls have navigated through numerous soul tests and challenges across many incarnations, and they return to this lifetime with something very specific, a heightened awareness of detail that can seem obsessive to those who don't understand what's really happening behind the scenes. The hidden truth about Virgo souls is that many of them overlooked critical elements in previous lifetimes, small details that seemed insignificant at the time, but cascaded into larger failures or even caused harm to others. Imagine being a healer in a past life who missed a crucial symptom, or a builder whose oversight led to catastrophic collapse, or a leader who ignored warning signs that resulted in tragedy. These aren't hypothetical scenarios, they're actual soul memories that Virgos carry, and that's why they're so meticulous now. Their current journey involves a profound and transformative realization that goes against everything their past life experiences seem to be teaching them. True perfection, the kind that actually matters on a spiritual level, isn't found in rigid structures, flawless execution, or catching every possible mistake before it happens. It's found in something much simpler, yet infinitely more challenging: purity of intention and action. Their meticulous nature isn't a personality quirk or an annoying tendency to nitpick. It's actually spiritual wisdom being integrated across the veil of time, an attempt to balance the scales to make sure that this time around they don't miss what matters. But the real breakthrough for Virgo comes from when they understand that obsessing over details can actually become another form of spiritual avoidance, a way to focus on external perfection while ignoring the inner work that really needs attention. I want to go deeper on this topic because the pattern we're seeing reveals something profound about how souls choose their lessons based on what they failed to master previously. In the comments, type Soul Curriculum Activated if you're recognizing how your greatest struggles seem perfectly designed to address your specific areas of needed growth. When we move into the balanced energy of those born between September and October, we encounter souls carrying a very specific type of karmic debt. The Libra soul has experienced the painful impact of extremes in their previous incarnations. I'm not talking about minor imbalances. These were lives characterized by wealth without charity, where they hoarded resources while others suffered. Lives of power without justice, where they made decisions that benefited themselves at the expense of countless others. Or perhaps existences devoted to pleasure without consideration, indulging every desire while remaining blind to the destruction that they left in their wake. The revelations behind Libra's current behavior become crystal clear when you understand this soul history. These spirits return now as natural harmony seekers and conciliators. And it's not because they're simply nice people or afraid of conflict. They carry deep within their consciousness the soul memory of devastation caused by selfishness and imbalance. They've seen firsthand, across multiple lifetimes, what happens when the scales tip too far in one direction. When one person's gain becomes another's unbearable loss. Their current incarnation represents a profound spiritual reckoning, a chance to return and harmonize the very relationships they once fractured, to bring justice and fairness to situations where they previously planted seeds of discord and division. Here's what most people completely misunderstand about Libra. When they struggle with decisions, spending what seems like forever, weighing options and considering different perspectives, others label them as wishy washy or indecisive. But that's not what's actually happening behind the scenes. Their soul is carefully, meticulously weighing all perspectives, running each choice through a filter of fairness and balance, desperately trying to avoid repeating the imbalances and injustices of past lives. Every decision carries weight for them because they unconsciously remember the impact of selfish choices, the ripple effects of prioritizing their own needs above others. The transformation they are working toward, or should be, involves finding that elusive center point where they can honor their own needs while still maintaining fairness and consideration for everyone involved. Now, as we journey into the intense waters of the people born between October and November, we encounter perhaps the most misunderstood souls in the entire zodiac. Scorpio souls carry something within them that others can sense but rarely understand. There's a depth to them, an intensity that can feel intimidating or mysterious to those who haven't experienced what they have. Now, according to my extensive research, Scorpio souls carry unconscious spiritual memory of experiences that most other souls haven't yet encountered in their journey. We're talking about profound losses that scattered their sense of security, devastating betrayals that taught them the darkest aspects of human nature, or even tragic deaths from previous lifetimes that left such deep impressions that the trauma echoes across incarnations. This explains that remarkable depth you sense when you truly connect with a Scorpio individual. It's not a carefully cultivated personality trait or an act that they're putting on. It's wisdom acquired through the intense soul experiences, the kind that strip away illusion and force you to confront the raw truth of existence. When a Scorpio seems to see right through your carefully constructed facade, when they intuitively know what you're hiding or what you're really feeling beneath your words, they're accessing abilities honed through centuries of navigating the shadow realms of surviving experiences that would have broken a younger soul. As I go deeper into this topic of understanding Scorpio's journey, it reveals something crucial about why some souls choose the hardest path. Put down ancient soul in the comment if you recognize this depth in yourself or someone that you know, this sense of having lived through things that go beyond this current lifetime. The current incarnation of a Scorpio soul represents what spiritual alchemists call sacred transformative work. They are here to perform one of the most challenging tasks any soul can undertake: transforming pain into healing, converting the shadow into light, and turning darkness into revelation. This isn't metaphorical language or poetic exaggeration. This is the actual soul curriculum that they signed up for before being born. Every time a Scorpio helps someone heal from trauma, every time they use their understanding of darkness to guide someone back to the light, every time they transmute their own suffering into wisdom that serves others, they're fulfilling their cosmic purpose. Their intensity that makes others uncomfortable is actually their superpower. Their ability to go into emotional and spiritual territory that most people wouldn't dare approach. What's remarkable about Scorpio souls is their intuition. Abilities aren't just natural talent or lucky gifts. They're skills developed across lifetimes of navigating hidden realms, of learning to sense what lurks beneath surfaces, of understanding that truth often wears masks, and that real transformation requires descending into the underworld of the psyche before you can ascend to higher consciousness. If they've succeeded, when they look at you with those penetrating eyes and you feel like every secret you've ever kept is suddenly visible, that isn't intimidation tactics. It's centuries of soul experience, reading energy, detecting deception, and recognizing patterns that others might miss completely. As we transition into the expansive energy of those born between November and December, we encounter souls that again operate on an entirely different wavelength. I want to remind you all, as we go through these, that sometimes we will see reflections in our current life of these past life experiences that we are here to heal, transmute, and correct. So if you find yourself in a current situation that seems ever so similar to the things I'm describing, then try to remember that this is your soul's way of showing you what is still yet ahead on your journey in this lifetime. Sagittarian soul operates on an entirely different wavelength. These are souls of cosmic freedom seekers, the eternal student and teacher of the Zodiac. And much of my research has revealed something absolutely fascinating about their past incarnations. These spirits carry within them soul memories of numerous cultures, belief systems, and philosophical tradition. They weren't passive observers in these previous lifetimes. Many were wandering teachers who moved from village to village, sharing knowledge. Spiritual masters who dedicated entire incarnations to seeking enlightenment, or fearless explorers who crossed boundaries, both physical and metaphysical, in their relentless pursuit of a greater truth. This soul history explains so much about the Sagittarius personality that seems scattered or commitment phobic to outsiders. Their current journey involves a delicate and challenging integration process, taking all of that vast accumulated wisdom from multiple lifetimes and cultures and weaving it together with newfound responsibility and genuine respect for others' spiritual paths. The relentless Sagittarius feels like he has rigid structures, traditional expectations, or limiting belief systems. Isn't about immaturity or rebellion. It's their soul remembering the liberation of broader horizons, the expansion that comes from crossing boundaries and discovering that truth wears many faces and speaks countless languages. The hidden truth about Sagittarius souls is that their optimism isn't naive positive thinking. It's the confidence of a spirit that has witnessed resilience across culture and centuries, that knows from direct experience how humanity always finds a way forward, how truth eventually surfaces, no matter how deeply it's buried, how the journey itself holds more value than any destination. Their challenge in this lifetime involves channeling that expansive energy without becoming so detached from practical reality that they fail to honor commitments or ground their wisdom in ways that actually serve others. The transformation happens when they learn both to be free and responsible, both adventurous and reliable, both explorers and builders. As we go further into this topic, if you recognize the pattern of this soul evolution that we are revealing and uncovering in this video, of how each sign prepares all of us for the next level of our spiritual development, type it in the comments. I am ready for my path. I am awakening to my mission. I am ready to see the challenges that life deliberately brought to me because I chose this curriculum. This is not random obstacles. We planned this well ahead of time. When we arrive at the disciplined energy of those born between December and January, we encounter some of the most ancient souls currently walking on this planet. Capricorn souls aren't newcomers to the reincarnation cycle. From my research, these are spirits who have completely numerous journeys around the wheel of incarnation, and they often return with something very specific weighing on their consciousness. They have missions to complete, significant tasks that were left unfinished in previous lifetimes, promises made to themselves or others that death interrupted before fulfillment could occur. The impact of carrying these unfinished soul contracts across multiple incarnations creates that characteristic Capricorn seriousness, that sense of duty that others might misinterpret as being overly rigid or emotionally distant. What's fascinating about Capricorn souls is the pattern their past lives often follow. Many lived incarnations marked by excessive ambition that climbed over others on the way to success, accumulating power and status while leaving trails of damaged relationships and broken trust behind them. Others swung to the opposite extreme, escaping from responsibility that had specifically agreed to fulfilled, running away when things got difficult, choosing the easy path over the right one. Either way, they carry soul memories of imbalance that can spill over into this lifetime, of priorities misaligned with spiritual truth. And that's precisely what they're here to correct. Their current journey represents a profound spiritual commitment to structure, build, and fulfill their missions with unwavering integrity and patient persistence. This is why Capricorns often seem old, even when they're young, why they carry themselves with a gravity that transcends their years. They're not being pessimistic or overly cautious. Their souls simply understands something that younger spirits haven't yet learned: the true nature of time. They know from direct experience across multiple lifetimes that everything worthwhile requires sustained effort, that there are no shortcuts to genuine achievement, and that patient dedication always outlasts flashy enthusiasm. Their remarkable endurance isn't stubborn determination. It's the quiet confidence of a soul that's been around long enough to know that the universe rewards those who stay the course. And again, I just want to remind you that you will find yourself in the quote unquote soul trap of repeating past life mistakes and repeating past life events if we do not allow ourselves, encourage ourselves, and love ourselves enough to move past the way we were and move in to who we're meant to be. Each sign, each lesson comes with real world consequence that can very well be part of your current story until you're ready to face the past and correct it. When we look at those born between January and February, we encounter souls that march to the beat of a completely different drum. Aquarian souls are the visionaries, the reformers, the ones who always seem slightly out of sync with their current time period because they're actually vibrating at frequencies that belong to the future. The revelations that I have come to see through these spirits is that they carry deep spiritual memory of participating in communities and movements that are dedicated to freedom, equality, and collective awakening. They weren't bystanders in history. Many were actively involved in social revolutions that overthrew oppressive systems, spiritual reformations that challenged corrupt religious institutions, or pioneering scientific breakthroughs that fundamentally changed how humanity understood reality. This soul history creates that characteristic Aquarian detachment and eccentric attitude that others often find puzzling. They're not being aloof or weird for attention. Their consciousness is literally accessing frequencies and potentials that most people can't perceive yet, seeing possible futures and paradigm shifts that are invisible to those still operating within conventional framework. The journey they're on in this lifetime involves using that visionary capacity responsibly, learning to translate revolutionary insights into practical steps that actually serve humanity's evolution rather than just feeding their own sense of being or feeling special or different. And again, as we go deeper into this topic, approaching the final sign in the zodiac wheel and what it represents will transform your entire understanding of the soul's journey. I want you to write visionary soul in the comments if you've ever felt like you don't quite belong in this time period, like you're meant for something the world isn't ready for yet. The divine mission that Aquarius souls carry in this lifetime goes far beyond personal success or individual enlightenment. They are here to innovate, to reform broken systems, and to awaken human consciousness to possibilities that most people haven't even begun to consider. When an Aquarian shares ideas that seem eccentric or ahead of their time, when they propose solutions that challenge fundamental assumptions about how society should function, they're not being contrarian or attention seeking. They're channeling actual glimpses of a paradigm shift waiting to manifest. Insights downloaded from a soul that has literally witnessed entire civilizations rise, peak, and fall across multiple incarnations. Their detachment isn't coldness, it's the perspective of consciousness that understands the bigger picture, that sees beyond the immediate drama, and recognizes patterns repeating across centuries. The transformation that Aquarian souls are working toward involves learning to ground their revolutionary visions into practical reality, to translate cosmic downloads into language and action that can actually bridge the gap between where humanity is now and where it needs to go. The impact they have is enormous, but only if they can learn to balance their natural inclination toward abstract idealism with enough earthly connection to make their innovations accessible and implementable. And now, as we arrive at the mystical waters of those born between February and March, we reach something profoundly significant. Because Pisces represents the closing chapter of the Zodiac's entire spiritual curriculum, the final lesson in a cosmic classroom that began with Aries' fiery first steps. These aren't just old souls. According to the revelations I've come across through many of my clients, Pisces are individuals that are among the oldest and wisest spirits currently incarnated on Earth. They return carrying something that can only be earned through experiencing the full spectrum of human existence across countless lifetimes and countless zodiac signs. Infinite compassion, born from having suffered every type of pain, loss, and heartache that physical existence could offer. The hidden truth about Pisces souls is that their remarkable sensitivity and empathy aren't personality quirks or emotional weakness. This is wisdom acquired through centuries of direct soul experience, the accumulated understanding of what it feels like to be human in all its beauty and tragedy. They've been the victim and the perpetrator, the healer and the wounded, the lover and the abandoned. They've experienced wealth, poverty, power, helplessness, joy, and despair. And through all these varied incarnations, they've developed something very rare and precious: the ability to truly feel what others are experiencing, to hold space for suffering without judgment, to love without condition or expectation. Their current incarnation represents a sacred calling that goes deeper than any career or life purpose. Pisces souls are here to serve, to forgive the unforgivable, and to love unconditionally in a world that often mistakes kindness for weakness. They function as living bridges between dimensions, connecting the seen and unseen realms, the material and spiritual planes. That dreamy quality others notice in them isn't escapism or disconnection from reality. It's their natural ability to perceive beyond the veil that separates this physical dimension from the eternal spiritual reality that most people can't access. And as we delve into this topic of understanding Pisces, reveals something crucial where all souls are ultimately heading in this evolution. I want you to type, I feel this in the comments. I feel it. If you recognize this compassion and spiritual sensitivity in yourself or someone that you know, this sense of carrying the weight of the world's suffering, when you step back and you look at the entire zodiac wheel through this lens of soul evolution, something absolutely extraordinary becomes visible. The 12 signs don't represent random personality categories or arbitrary divisions of a calendar year. They form a complete spiritual journey with profound beginning and completion cycles that mirror the soul's path from innocence to enlightenment. We begin in Aries, experiencing life with that fiery impulsiveness, discovering the world with fresh eyes and intense emotion, everything feeling urgent and new. Then we journey through each subsequent sign, accumulating wisdom, healing wounds, learning lessons, until we have finally arrived at Pisces, having developed the compassion and spiritual awareness that's necessary to transcend the material realm altogether and merge back into universal consciousness. This progression reveals the hidden architecture behind human spiritual evolution, showing us that what appears to be personality is actually position along an eternal path. But here's where the teachings challenge our lineal thinking and completely transform our understanding of how reincarnation actually works. I've discovered something remarkable through these decades of regression therapy and working with so many clients. March through the zodiac signs in predictable order, like students moving from one grade to the next. The process is far more dynamic, more intentional, and infinitely more complex than the simplistic model would suggest, or even the term of the precession of the equinox. A Piscean spirit, having absorbed profound compassion and boundless wisdom through countless incarnations, might deliberately choose to return as an Aries and start fresh with simplicity and directness, perhaps to experience life with beginner's mind again, or to relearn fundamental lessons from a new perspective. A Leo soul that mastered charismatic leadership might intentionally return under that same sign, specifically to relearn humility in a completely different cultural or historical context, to face the same temptations of ego and power, but this time really make a different decision. This reveals that the zodiac isn't a ladder you climb once and leave behind. It's a spiral of growth where you return to similar energies at higher levels of consciousness, deepening your understanding with each revolution. The transformation in your mindset happens when you truly grasp what this means for your current life. Your birth timing wasn't random chance or biological accident. It was a sacred reunion, orchestrated with precision that transcends human comprehension. Before you took your first breath in this body, your eternal spirit made deliberate choices about every detail of your incarnation. You specifically selected your birth date, knowing exactly what zodiac sign and planetary alignments would serve your soul's curriculum. You chose your family constellation, knowing the specific karmic relationships and lessons that would unfold through those connections and challenge you to achieve your goals. You even chose the geographic location of your birth, understanding how that cultural and environmental context would shape your journey. Every single detail was orchestrated with divine precision, serving as a greater purpose in your soul's evolution that your human mind might not fully comprehend, but your spirit absolutely understands. The impact of recognizing this truth is profound because it shifts you from victim consciousness to creator consciousness, from feeling like life happens to you to understanding that you actively designed this experience before arriving to happen for you. Now, let's go even deeper into this topic because understanding that you choose your birth circumstances raises an obvious question. Why would a soul deliberately choose difficult circumstances or a challenging zodiac placement? I want you to type in the comments, Soul Architect, if this revelation is shifting how you see your entire life story. The most profound revelation that I have come to about zodiac signs is something that might initially seem contradictory, but actually represents the deepest spiritual truth we could grasp. Your essential nature transcends the temporary aspects of your zodiac sign. Yes, you were born under a specific astrological energy. And yes, that energy influences your current incarnation in very significant ways. But the true spirit within you, that eternal consciousness that has existed since the beginning of time and will continue existing beyond the end of this universe, that core essence exists completely beyond any zodiac classification. Your birth chart shows where your soul currently is positioned in its evolutionary journey, like a marker or an infinite map, but it doesn't define who you fundamentally are at the deepest level of your being. This understanding creates a massive shift in mindset because it frees you from the limiting belief that you're somehow trapped by your astrological blueprint. You're not a Taurus or a Scorpio in your eternal essence. You're wearing that energy like specialized clothing for this particular chapter of your soul's story and for lessons to learn. The transformation happens when you realize that you can work with your sign's energy consciously, integrating its lessons while remaining aware that you're infinitely larger than any single astrological archetype could ever contain. Behind the scenes of Zodiac's architecture lies another fascinating mechanism for soul growth that most people completely overlook. Every single sign has its polar opposite positioned exactly halfway around the zodiac circle. Aries faces Libra, Taurus confronts Scorpio, Gemini mirrors Sagittarius, and so on. Capricorn mirrors Cancer. Throughout all 12 signs, and this isn't random cosmic arrangement, it's deliberate, designed spiritual technology of your opposite sign, and it isn't your enemy or an incompatible match. It's actually your greatest teacher, the energy that holds precisely what you need to integrate for wholeness. The friction you feel with people born under your opposite sign, that explicable tension or challenge, represents a precisely orchestrated soul classroom where both of you are teaching each other through their contrast and complementary opposition. The hidden truth is that the qualities irritating you most in your opposite sign are often represented of exactly the traits your soul needs to develop for balance and completion. When Aries learns consideration and partnership for Libra, when Taurus discovers transformation and letting go from Scorpio, when the focused detail of Virgo integrates the expansive vision of Pisces, genuine spiritual alchemy occurs. The impact of understanding this dynamic completely changes how you approach challenging relationships and personality clashes. Instead of seeing them as problems to avoid, you can recognize them as cosmic gifts, opportunities for accelerated growth that wouldn't be possible without that productive tension. But here's where we arrive at the ultimate purpose behind all of the astrological wisdom. The final revelation that brings everything full circle, understanding your birth sign and its implications for your reincarnation journey, isn't about becoming the perfect textbook expression of your zodiac energy. That would be actually that would actually represent spiritual stagnation, getting stuck in one particular frequency instead of evolving beyond it. The real goal, the actual destination of this entire soul curriculum, is transcending the zodiac altogether. True spiritual evolution means fully absorbing the lessons that your specific sign offers, integrating those qualities so completely that they become second nature, and then moving beyond your own zodiac sign to master all of the lessons in each of the other 11 zodiac signs together. Then, and only then, can we move beyond the need for that cosmic training altogether. Understanding transcendence reveals a destination where all souls are heading, regardless of their current birth sign. Write pure consciousness in the comments if you sense there's something beyond all these categories and labels, something that you truly are beneath all the temporary costumes your soul wears. When you fully, finally integrate all the lessons that the zodiac has to offer, something remarkable happens. You stop living mechanically, just reacting to circumstances based on predetermined astrological tendencies. Something you truly are beneath all the temporary costumes your soul wears. When you finally integrate all the lessons your zodiac sign and others have to offer, something remarkable happens. Like I said, you stop living mechanically, just reacting to circumstances based on predetermined astrological tendency. Instead, you become pure spirit, expressing itself through this temporary physical form. Divine light flowing through you without the filters and limitations that once defined your experience. You transform into an instrument of universal love, conscious and awake to the fact that you're not just a personality or a set of traits, but eternal awareness, temporarily focused through the lens of this particular zodiac sign and incarnation. This is the journey we're all on, whether we're aware of it or not, from Aries to Pisces and back again, spiraling upward through the countless lifetimes. each one bringing us closer to that ultimate realization of what we truly are beneath all the costumes, all the roles, all the zodiac energies we cycle through. Your birth month gave you the key to understanding where you currently are on this magnificent journey, what you're here to learn, what wounds you're supposed to be healing from past incarnations, and what gifts you're developing to carry forward into future ones. If this exploration resonated something deep inside of you, if it felt less like learning new information and more like remembering something your soul already knew, I would love for you to join my community. Visit my website, take some classes, accentuate your gifts, and open your channel to new possibilities. We are always seeking illumination through the layers of truth, and that is what this channel is all about. Our pathway forward is deeper understanding toward waking up the magnificent reality of our eternal nature and where we truly came from. I honor you and your journey, and I wish you well in love and light.